guys, I'm Jo. Welcome back to my channel. I've got more meals for you guys. It's gonna be easy on the budget and also great for the tummy, taste buds, all that jazz. Healthy eating does not have to be expensive. You just gotta find your local ingredients, gotta go to your local markets. And planning meals is also a very important thing that we can do to help us with our budget. Because if you're planning your meals, you're prepared, you're saving on time, you're saving on money, you're saving on effort. Para maiwasan natin yung isang araw, di mo alam kung kakainin, kaya makakapabili ka ng medyo mas mahal sa dapat mong bibilin. And other things to help on the budget is to shop locally, to use your leftovers, try to repurpose those leftovers if you can. My sister uses the broccoli stems for like cauliflower rice. Being healthy and being healthy on a budget is just all about finding what's around you. You don't have to go through all of those crazy ingredients or things that are out of season just to get those dishes. Be resourceful, be creative, find alternatives and substitutes that are available to you. You can definitely make it fit you and your budget and your preferences. All those things work out. Let's get into the video. Sourdough toast with some tofu scramble. Yes, I'm more of a sweet breakfast type of person, but this is definitely a really good savory dish. What makes this dish great as well is that we know that tofu has a lot of iron to give our bodies, and since it's a plant-based source of iron, it's a little bit harder to absorb. So we've paired it with a vitamin C source, tomato, to give it that extra boost for absorption, and we can really get our iron fix. Pump that iron into your body. So all I did was slice up my sourdough bread, rubbed a little bit of butter with a butter knife, and then I toasted it in the air fryer. So the next thing I did was I mushed up the tofu because you want to get it to have that like scramble consistency, and then you're just gonna heat it up in a pan. Toss a little bit of turmeric into it for color. This is very much optional, so if you don't want it to look that color, you don't need to put turmeric, yellow ginger powder, that yellow thing. And then you're just going to season it with some black salt, because black salt really has an egg taste, but you can also use some garlic salt, and then we put a little bit of pepper as well. Cook it up for some time just to really get that texture of tofu that you want. If you want a little bit of a wetter consistency, that didn't sound great, but you can cook it a little bit less. But I like my tofu scramble to be a little bit more firm, so I cooked it up a little bit longer. Then when the toast is done, top on your tofu scramble, put in your tomatoes, boom. Let's see the price breakdown, Jo. Effect. That's how I imagine myself editing this, but I don't think that's gonna be how it works. Our sourdough toast of 1.5 pieces comes out at 12.8 pesos. Our tofu scramble for one serving, which is for me, which is about 130 grams of tofu, comes out at 11.7 pesos. Little bit of salt comes out at about 1.2 pesos. A little bit of turmeric also comes out at 1 peso. Then a little bit of pepper, around 2 pesos. Yes, ang mahal pa rin paminta. Then we have our tomatoes. It's usually about 70 pesos per kilo. Could be less, could be more depending on the area, especially if you're buying in local markets. It will definitely be cheaper than in the grocery, but about one tomato did come out at around 2.25 pesos. And don't forget the butter that you use on the bread. I used some Nuttelex, which is about 256 pesos for 500 grams, and used about a teaspoon of it, which comes out to 2 pesos and 56 centavos. So if we total up this first meal for the day, it comes out at
33.5 pesos.
And you know it's satisfying because you got your protein, you got your fats, you got your carbs. You can definitely add some spinach for a little bit more fiber, but she likes to keep it simple. Dish number 2. Our next meal for the day is a coconut dish, which I like to call puso ng saging na may gata sa gata. Ginataang puso ng saging. Quick disclaimer, this is the first time I cooked it. I've had this dish many times, never cooked it on my own. Hindi pala ako marunong maghiwa ng puso ng saging. So it was a journey. For protein, we use something called texturized vegetable protein, which is actually one of the highest sources of protein that you can find in a plant-based source. So if you can get some, it's got the texture of like ground beef or ground pork, and if you can season it right, it's a great replacement. For our seasoning, we just use some coconut cream, a little bit of skinny seasoning, and some water. Cut up your onion and garlic, nice and sliced. Then we're gonna cut up our puso ng saging. Apparently, may tinik yung puso ng saging, so kailangan daw pala yung tanggalin kasi daw baka mapait. Also, when you're eating it, it's like you're having some fish. That's cool. Tried different ways to take out the tinik. We did it individually, we chopped it with a knife, and it took some time. But when we finally cut off that puso ng saging, finally took out the tinik, we then cooked up our onion and garlic in a little bit of oil. Did I cook it in oil? You're going to saute your onion and garlic with a little bit of oil. Oh my god! After sauteing our onion and garlic, I added in the puso ng saging, added in the coconut cream, added in the dressing until I could taste it, and it tasted like something I would eat. All of the amounts of the recipes will be in the description below. But after cooking that up, added in the Tbsp for that protein, and then served it up with some red rice. We are dabbling in some red rice now. I find that it's a lot more filling, and also you get a lot of antioxidants from your red rice because of the color, the pigment. Don't worry, all rice still has its value and place in your diet, but right now we're trying out some red rice. Sige na, Dad! Let's see the breakdown of this dish. Ta-ching! One puso ng saging came out at about 44 pesos. Our onion and garlic came out at about 3.6 pesos each. Coconut cream, which about 2/3 cup, was 26.7 pesos. You can definitely reduce this price if you're gonna get nyog fresh from the local market, since we just did use a canned version. Then your TVP is usually about 85 pesos per 500 grams, and we used about a cup of it, which came out to 10.2 pesos. A little bit of skinny seasoning, which came out to about 10 pesos for the dish. And the whole dish itself came out to 98 pesos. Definitely served 5 people for this meal, which comes out at 19.6 pesos plus the rice, which was about 16 pesos a cup. That comes out to a total of, that comes out to about 35.6 pesos per person. Breakfast, check. Lunch, check. Next up, snack time. And you're gonna love this snack. Sweet potato with peanut butter and chocolate chip. I'm gonna give you a minute to understand and decipher how amazing that is. So I really love sweet potatoes with peanut butter. It's kind of been a dish that my sister got me into. She gets me into a lot of food, basically. Everything that I know comes from her. But I love it, and we haven't had it in a while because we haven't had camote. But this dish is really good. So all you have to do, grab some camote, just scrub up the skin, or you can peel it, whichever one you want to do. And then you're going to cut it in half, or basically this is an optional step if you want to cut it into like fries or something. But then you can toss it into the air fryer, or you can boil it. Put a little bit of good peanut butter in there. Thank you, 7 grains. And then I just brushed up a little bit of chocolate chips, and it's like a cake. Okay, I'm not gonna go that far, but it's so good. It's so good. You get the good old unsaturated fats from the peanut butter, plus you get that fiber from the camote that's just really filling, and a nice little touch of sweetness from the chocolate chips and antioxidants as well. No ba yan, mga guys? This is a closed set. So let's break down this dish. Sweet potatoes is about 70 per kilo right now, and that came out to about 11.2 pesos. Our peanut butter came out to about 9 pesos. Then a little bit of chocolate chips was about 2.6 pesos, which brings our snack to a total of 22.8 pesos. Snack! Our final dish for this episode is our dinner. Pancit-ish dish. Yeah, that's what it is. Cool. So we used rice noodles for this dish. This dish is super duper simple to make. First, you gotta separate your rice noodles and soak it so it cooks a lot faster. And then we use a bunch of vegetables, carrots, cabbages, sayote, pero ako yung nagluto kaya sa akin te. Food safety. Oh, I wet my hair. For our protein source, we use some tofu. And then for our seasoning, apple cider vinegar, coconut sugar or whatever sugar you want to use, skinny seasoning for that flavor, and then a little bit of garlic salt for a little bit more savoriness. But then after slicing up all your ingredients, a little bit of mise en place, the next thing you're going to do is, of course, saute them all together. So we sauteed our onion and garlic, added the carrots, added the sayote, added the cabbage, and until it's all nice and cooked up. If you're cooking the carrots in a different cut and not grated like we usually do, because it's a lot faster to cook, you might want to cook that separately first. We usually do air fry our tofu separate from everything and add it when the dish is fully cooked. But when all of your vegetables are nice and cooked and you've seasoned it with all of your lovely seasonings to perfection, you can add in your rice noodles, add in your tofu, put it in a plate, and serve it. This dish is always a winner. But let's see the breakdown. Our rice noodles, which is about 98.75 pesos per 400 grams, came out to about 49.3 pesos because we used half of the pack. Onion and garlic, again, about 3.6 pesos each. Carrots are around 100 to 120 pesos per kilo right now, so the carrots come out to 15 pesos. Sayote is about 40 to 60 pesos per kilo, coming out to 12 pesos. Cabbages are about 80 to 100 pesos per kilo, came out to 16 pesos. Garlic salt, 2 pesos. Tofu, we used 1 block, which we usually get from Soy Yummy, and that's 70 per block of 800 grams. Skinny seasoning, then we used a little bit of oil for sauteing. On top to finish off the dish and add a little extra taste, coconut sugar and apple cider vinegar. This whole dish comes out to about 207.8 pesos, which is divided now into 4 because we served 4 people, bringing it to 51.9 pesos. Our most expensive dish for the day, but you can definitely lower this price if you use maybe a different type of noodle. All up to you, but this dish is the bomb.com. So this day had 3 meals and 1 snack because I tend to only have 1 snack throughout the day as I don't. That's what I feel is comfortable for me. But sometimes I do have maybe a fruit after breakfast or a fruit after lunch or a little bit of extra dessert. So those things do add up. But for the 3 meals and that 1 snack, let's tally up the scores. If my math is not wrong, and I just double checked on my phone to see, our whole day comes up to 143.8 pesos. Now, if that's not healthy on a budget, then it's not, if that's what you think. So it could go up if you're having maybe a fruit for a snack. Let's say an apple comes out to 30 pesos. Being healthy on a budget is very much doable. Of course, it's easier if you're cooking your meals at home because that is the best way to save up. Sometimes it's a little bit of trial and error, but you know that your meals and your diet and everything else must be catered to you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you want more, then let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that thumbs up for more videos from me. I keep singing a lot nowadays. I don't know why, but see you guys in the next video. Stay fab!